My paper was about the differential dividends to the revolution, if you like, in Egypt and the labor market. I was looking at the structure and the distribution of wages using the Egypt Labor Market Panel Survey for 2012, comparing it to three other points in time, 1988, 1998, and 2006. And my objective was to see what happened to four things. What happened to real wages, what happened to wage inequality, what happened to the proportion of people who we would think of as the low-waged or the working poor in the labor market, and finally, what happened to the main axis of segmentation or structuring in the labor market in terms of gender, education, and public-private lines of differentiation. What happened to all those differentials and what happened to overall wage structure. So in a nutshell, I wanted to look at some of the inequality and poverty implications of the recent changes in Egypt by looking at this data set. My findings actually can be summarized in a kind of a series of U-turns. Compared to 88, which just before the implementation of structural adjustment in Egypt, real wages declined in Egypt and then picked up again after 2006 and again after 2012. So there was a nice U-turn there. Inequality has followed a different U-turn. Inequality declined. There was a compression in wages and then went up to 2006 and then stabilized since 2006. Does that mean that the Egyptian wage structure now looks exactly like the way it was in 1988? In a sense it does, but there are two important differences. One has to do with the share of people below the low earnings or the poverty line, and that share has actually increased, it dropped and then increased in Egypt, so that's something to be careful about. The other difference is that the fortunes of women or the returns to women or the wages of women compared to men seem to have improved actually, especially in the last period from 2006 till 2012. However, this last result should be interpreted with care because we need to combine it with the fact that we saw in other presentations today that there is a decline in the participation of women in the labor market. So actually, women who are not participating anymore tend to be the low-waged and the less fortunate. So we end up with a select group of better rewarded women that would look comparatively better.